at Agencia. So today I'm going to talk you through setting up your profile and getting logged in, and then we'll just run through a quick booking and go over some of the information related to your company's policies. So to go ahead and get started, I am going to just let everybody know that everybody is muted. If you have any questions, please do write them down and save them for the end. I will unmute everybody at the end, and then we can go over those questions. So to start, you should have received a welcome email from Agencia this morning. So that would have your login information, and then also would give you a direct link to get on the site and then change your password as needed. So please do so, and then complete your profile setup. These settings will all then be saved and will go into future bookings moving forward, just so that everything is all set and ready to go with all of your personal information. So if you didn't already see that email, please, take a look at that. If you do have any questions, you will be, taking any Agencia-related questions to your travel manager, in which my team has direct contact with. So to get started on the site, I did say, once you do get that welcome email and you go to set up your profile, your profile settings can be found here on the top right corner. I have this demo profile set up. So I'm going to click on Profile, and this will take me to all of my personal settings. So in here, this is where we'll click into a few items. So name, address, phone numbers. Please make sure that all of this information does match the government-issued ID that you are traveling with. Your mobile phone number is required. If you do want to add in any of other numbers, please do so. Your address, emergency contact information. Save settings. Next, we have TSA Secure. So the information stored in this area is sent to the carrier prior to travel and is required as well. Again, please make sure that everything matches your ID. Enter your gender, birth date. If you have a redress number or a known traveler number, such as a TSA PreCheck or global entry, you can enter those here. Next item we have is credit cards. So there is not a central bill card loaded at this time from your company, so you will need to add a card. Just click Add Card, put in your information. We do recommend putting in a brief description of each card, so maybe Visa and the last 4 digits, just so you can easily decipher which card you're choosing at the time of checkout. Next, we have travel preferences in this section. This is where you can enter any seat, meal, and special assistance preferences. Next, we have frequent traveler accounts. So that all of your frequent traveler numbers can be stored in your profile. I do recommend doing this when you, initially log in and set everything up, just so you have all of your personal information loaded. So if you have any airline rewards programs or hotel memberships, those would all be stored here. If I clicked Add Account, you'll see for the airline, you would just select the correct airline and then enter your account number. If you qualify for preferred seating, please do check that box. And then you have hotel, car, rail. We also have a flight alert section, so you can enter in some contact information. You can add up to 8 contacts here to be notified of delays or gate changes to your flights via text message, email, or phone call. These alerts are sent until 2 hours prior to flight time. We also have a calendar sync setting. So this, your email that's loaded in the profile will default here. You would just check that box to add your calendar sync settings to that. If you want somebody else to have your travel time on their calendar, maybe a colleague, just put in their email address and save, and it will be sent to them also. Unused tickets. If you have any unused ticket credit from canceling a flight after 24 hours from booking, you would get that. It would be stored here within your profile. And then if you're traveling out of the same airport each time, you can definitely add a home airport so that it generates into all of your future searches. And that is it for the profile settings right now. So again, please just make sure all of this information is set up once you log in so that you don't have to worry about it moving forward. So now I'm going to go back to the home page. If you click on the Agencia logo on the top left, that will always bring you back here. You can begin a booking from the home page or from this book tab up here. And then I like to just point out this box on the right-hand side. If there's any messages your company may put here in the future, those will all be stored here. So it's always good to check that box. So I have Chicago stored as my home airport. That already defaulted. I ran a search prior for Denver, so I'm just going to keep those settings for the time being. So from here, if you wanted to add a specific departure time, you can do so, a certain airline, class, whatnot. Also on the homepage, if you have any active trips, those would be all listed there as well. So I'm just going to jump right in now and search for my flights. And I'll just give that a second to load. I did leave that departure time as any time, so please be aware that that will leave those red-eye flights and early morning flights as the site assumes you're okay flying that time. Just give this a second. All right, so now we're at our flight results page. You can definitely filter down from here as well if you need to. If you search round trip, you will be seeing the initial price shown in round trip, so just to be aware of that. And to go over some policy settings. So basically your company has policy settings already configured in the back end so that you're staying within certain spending limits. So the goal is to make sure you're always choosing the lowest logical fare. Based on your search, it could be because I went just a few weeks out, which is already close to travel time, why I'm getting a lot of out of policy options. But you'll see that little red flag. So the goal is to choose, an option that is not out of policy. The out-of-policy options are not a hard stop. You can definitely still choose them, but please, the goal, as I said, is to not do so, just to stay within company limits. And again, if in doubt, please read through your company policies internally. But also, as I mentioned, that little red flag, if you ever see it in the booking path for, either a hotel or a car, it will prompt you when you choose that selection as to it will let you know what policy you are violating, just to be aware. We did get asked that earlier today on a different session. Is there a place where you can see all those policies on the site? If you are choosing an out of policy, you will be getting that information as you go along through the booking process of why that is. So just to be aware of that. And as I said, you can choose it, but you will have to choose at your time of checkout a reason code of why you chose that out of policy option, so that can be reported to your travel managers. So I'm going to choose one of these. I'll choose the flight that's in policy. And so now it's going to give me my inbound flight options. So I will choose another in policy option. All right, so now this is just reviewing my flights that I chose. It will give you other fare options up here on the top right, if there are some. And then from here, we will continue. So this is the trip preferences page. So if you have all of your personal information already stored in your profile, you won't need to fill any of this out because it will just import directly from your profile. So scrolling down, this is just all my information. There may be some required fields you need to fill out. So please, fill out employee ID if so. Reason for travel is required. So I'm going to continue. Normally I would continue, but I actually am going to save this for later because I want to also add a hotel and a car, and I'm going to do so from the itinerary. So from here, I just saved that, and you can see I didn't actually complete my flight purchases yet. I'm going to do the purchase all together at the end. So from here, I'm going to choose find a hotel in Denver, just so it syncs all of my previous choices, so my arrival city and my dates. So this will just take a second to load. You'll see the map on the left, and then all of the results on the right-hand side will display. Okay, so if you have, a certain address, maybe you have an office you are traveling to and you want to stay as close as possible, you can pop in an address on this top left box. You can also sort by price, star rating, amenities, neighborhoods, brands, and then, as I said, here we have the list of all of the hotels. So you'll see this Agencia Preferred tag. You may run into this. Agencia works with certain hotel chains and brands to get them great rates for business travelers. So you may see the Agencia Preferred tag, or down the line, if your company is going to be adding any negotiated rates with certain properties, you may see, St. George Preferred tag instead of Agencia. So those will sort to the top as a recommendation that, your company wants you to look at those first. So I'm going to click into a property right now and just discuss a few items about rates. We get a lot of questions about hotel rates from our travelers, so I'd just like to take a few minutes to go over these details. So as you can see on the right-hand side, I have a couple different rates that are at the same price. Please be aware that these rates may all be going at $119, but they may all be offering something different. So this is very important. We have a lot of travelers that are, their hotel memberships are very important to them, and they want to make sure they're getting their loyalty points. If that's the case, please make sure you're choosing a rate. As you can see, this says eligible for hotel loyalty points. There may be a rate, there may be two rates at the same price. One's offering points and the other one's offering breakfast. So it really depends what you want to get out of it and what you're looking for. These items will also list if it's cancelable, non-refundable. So, always just read through that just to make sure you're choosing the correct one. And then also there are two different payment options in Agencia. For a hotel, you'll see payment through Agencia, and then down here, payment at hotel. The payment through Agencia rates, we call those the prepaid rates. So basically, you'll be entering a credit card at the time of checkout on the site for these payment through Agencia rates. And what this is, that card will be virtually charged when the traveler checks into the property. So basically, the traveler is only presenting a card at the property for incidentals. Other than that, they will not be presenting a card for the stay, and they will not be receiving a receipt from the hotel at the property. The receipt will be available on the Agencia site in their itinerary 24 hours after they check in. Otherwise, the payment at hotel option, you will need to present a card at the time of check-in, which will be charged when you check out, and the traveler receives the receipt directly from the hotel. Agencia will not have any record of that receipt as that was not paid through our system. So again, please just make sure, based on your preferences, you're choosing the correct rate. I'm going to pick a hotel and move on. So this is the hotel details page. It's just giving us, another breakdown of the cost, the rules and restrictions based on the property. Please read through this as well to make sure, if you need to make any changes moving forward, that you're not incurring any penalties based on that property's rules. So I'm going to agree to these, and now I'm going to add my car. I'm going to continue to car selection. So the search page defaults to the arrival airport dates and times based on my previous selections. These can also be changed if needed. So I'm going to click search for rental cars. And then, so here are our results, and these results will default to your company policy and preferred vendors. So as you can see, there are some preferred vendors that are, at the top that have negotiated rates with your company. The little handshake, you'll see that, it'll say negotiated rate. So please make sure, you're choosing the correct one. Again, you'll see these out of policy. Please make sure, you're choosing the in-policy options as best you can. This column of the location will let you know where the car counter and the fleet are located, either on airport grounds or if shuttle bus is required. So I'm going to choose an in-policy option and move on. So this is my car details page, again, just giving me a cost breakdown, rules and restrictions based on the vendor. So from here, now I've added my flight, hotel, and car, so I'm going to continue to check out. So this is just summarizing. I want to continue checking out with my flights, car, and hotel. I'm going to click book now. And again, this is a trip preferences page. This is coming up again because I didn't complete the payment with the flight originally because I wanted to do that all at once. So again, just this will already import from your profile if that's already all set. Otherwise, you can enter it and it will update your profile for future bookings. And at the bottom, reason for travel is required. I'm going to continue. And so now it brings us to the payment page. So before this, usually there is a seat map that you can choose your seat. Sometimes based on certain flights or airlines, if they're offering us the seat map ahead of time, then that will show up. So, based on the flights that I chose, it's not giving me one, but it will pop up prior to this page, and you can choose the seat that's available If you have status with that airline, you will be able to choose the preferred seating. If you don't have status with an airline but you want to upgrade, you do have to do that directly with the airline. So this is the final payment page. If you have a credit card saved in your profile already, you'll be able to just choose from a drop down that card. But I don't have one saved, so it's asking me to enter in that information for my flight, and then you'll also have to enter it for a hotel. Car does not need a credit card. It either has to be paid for at the counter by the traveler, or if your company has the direct bill already set up with the vendor, then that will be set. So from here, you would obviously want to complete booking now. I'm not going to actually do that because this is just a demo. So let me just cancel and save the trip. Whether you complete booking now or save the trip, it will bring you to this itinerary page. So if you were to actually book, it would not say obviously not booked or purchase, book car, book hotel. I just like to point that out because it does happen, more often than you would think that somebody saved their itinerary and didn't actually complete the payment, so nothing was ticketed or booked. So please just make sure you're completing that payment page so that everything is all set and that you have your confirmation number. It says booked, whatnot. But from the itinerary page, this is where you'll be able to make any changes to any of these items. If you need to cancel or whatnot, you can email a copy of this itinerary, grab a PDF copy, and also this is where your receipts are stored. So again, those air receipts for any flight bookings are available 24 hours after booking. Hotel receipts for the prepaid, the payment through Regencia rates are available 24 hours after the traveler checks in. And then if you need to add any other components, you can. You can also rename the name of the itinerary, if you have a meeting or a conference, whatnot. Otherwise, it will default to the arrival city. And then at the bottom of the page, you would have a cost breakdown if this was actually booked. So going back up to the top tab, if I click on trips, you will see this is where all of your active and past trips will be stored. So here's the one I just went through. It's just a temporary saved itinerary because I didn't book that. So these icons are grayed out, but normally they would be green if it was booked. And this is a quick link to the receipts instead of, actually clicking in and going to where we saw receipt previously. So I'm going to go back to the home page and just go through a few more items here. So up here in the Tools tab, we do have some great resources. I like to point out this product info site. Please keep that in mind or bookmark it if needed. But the product info site has all this information I just walked you through. It has video tutorials, step-by-step processes, and also any updates we're doing to the site, new product features, information on our mobile app. So you can find that all here. And then we also have a flight price guarantee. So if for some reason you're seeing something that's not matching up, our pricing should always be in parity with any other site, whether it's an online travel agency, another online travel agency site, or the airlines directly. Everything should be in parity. But if, again, you see something that's not matching up and it's an apples-to-apples comparison, so it's, same date, flight number, times, class of service, please do utilize our flight price guarantee. If you were to contact one of our travel consultants, they can adjust that price for you. If you did already book something, you have 24 hours within booking to also get that adjusted. And from here, I want to just quickly show you our mobile app as well. So this is just a quick demo. Within our mobile app, which is available for iPhone, iPad, and Android, you can view any existing trips. And then we also have, you can book on the app as well for flight and hotel. We don't have car just yet on the app. That will be coming in 2018. So right now it's just the flight and hotel. We also have this great assist me function. If you're on the road and something, you need a change to a reservation or you just need, help from one of our travel consultants, you can just pop in your information and request a call back. And then any alerts for your travel will also be stored within the app. That is all I have. That completes the session. Does